Billboard Live. Wyclef tuned in to Billboard Live. Just the other day, I was with Young Doug, and I told them I'm gonna send him an acoustic guitar. Little Wayne book called Gone to November. Wyclef Jean, back in November. If I was president, I'll get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. Yeah, and on Monday everybody goes back to work like nothing happened. It's just an ordinary day. She said she gonna be the first and the next to lead the eagle out the west. A man said he gonna build a wall, have Mexico pay for it all. And there's a riot in the streets, uniform blue every week. People on the edge, 'cause you could be the next one walking with the dead. If I was president, I'll get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. Children, listen to me now. And on Monday, everybody goes back to work, yeah, like nothing happened. It's just an ordinary day. Dave Chappelle, my homie, tell me what's good. First time I did this song was on the Chappelle show. Trump, he won the presidency. Hillary Clinton, Lord knows she tried. Bernie Sanders was removed against his will. You millennials going crazy, I understand the deal. Protest peacefully as you wish. It's your rights. Yeah, protest peacefully, yeah, as you wish. It's your right. But like Dave Chappelle said, we gonna have to suck it up and give Trump a chance. Millennials are like, no, 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 we rather give Arambe a chance. Y'all need to listen to me, trust me. We gotta give him a chance. Yeah, we gonna rise, we gonna rise, we gonna rise. Everybody just rise. We gonna rise, we gonna rise, we gonna rise. Everybody just rise. This ain't the Genesis, it's the Exodus. So move, everybody just move. We gonna rise, we gonna rise, we gonna rise. Everybody just rise. Obama, you're alright with me. You're alright with me, Obama. You're alright with me. You're alright with me. Even though you didn't invite me to the White House, you invited Jay-Z. But you're alright with me. Yeah. For everybody that's tuned in, my name is Wyclef Jean from the group The Fugees. Often mistaken as will.i.am to the millennials. My actually Will and I are actually real good friends. And actually back in the days when I was starting out with Jimmy Iovine, some of the work that I had to do included producing the Black Eyed Peas. So they all call me Uncle Wyclef, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to catch a vibe with y'all. We're going to give y'all a oldie but goodie. So dig, Wyclef is that rapper that your mama like and you like. You dig what I'm saying? Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself why, oh why. See, you must understand, I can't work no 9 to 5. So I'll be gone till November. Said I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November, yeah. Tell my girl I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November, yeah. Tell the hustlers I'll be gone till November, January, February, March, April, May. I see you crying, but girl I can't stay. I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November. Hey, girl I gotta leave, please don't cry. When I come back, you know the limit's the sky. I take you out to dinner to your favorite spot. Feed you an aphrodisiac just to get you high. Drive by movies, by the cemetery. If my corpse can tell, then I would tell him I was sorry. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Some die with the name, some die in English. Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself why, oh why. Yeah. See, you must understand. Oh, I can't work no 9 to 5. Said I'll be gone till November. Said I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone till November, yeah. Tell my girl I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone till November, yeah. Tell the hustlers I'll be gone till November, January, February, March, April, May. I see you crying, but girl I can't stay. I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone. To November, yeah. Tell my girl I'll be gone to November, I'll be gone to November, I'll be gone to November, yeah. Tell my mama I'll be gone to November, January, February, March, April, May. See you crying, but girl I can't stay. I'll be gone to November, I'll be gone to November, hey. And give a kiss to my mama. Yes, big shout out to Drake. I remember when Drake saw me, he's taller than me. I mean, these kids, he picked me up, he gave me like a bear hug, almost choked me. He's like, yo, Wyclef, anything I could do for Haiti, you know, I love the carnival. I'm so inspired by like what the generation is doing. Kendrick Lamar, Thugger, I'm amazed by so much melody in the music and so much production inside of the music. And sometimes I think music is a vibration, and I think that's what everybody has to remember. So it's important that we constantly embrace the new generation. Remember, I embraced Carlos Santana, and they bought Maria Maria, so it's important. But right now, let me deal with these kids real quick. What I'm about to do is display lyrical acrobatics at this point. I'm going to do a song called Hendrix. This is like just the story of the hood, you feel me? This is before we had nothing and how we started out, you feel me? Oh, I'ma do this one for my homies gone. Judge hit the hammer, they ain't coming home. We all are from the danger zone. The devil pulled the card and he said choose one. I chose music, my homies chose yeah. Some of my ballers chose the NBA. Cause those on the block, man, they gangbang. Funeral parlors making all the change, yeah. When my cousin got his first tech, I was playing Jimi Hendrix in the basement. All I wanted to be was a rock star, and all he wanted to be was a Escobar. El Chapo, El Chapo. All he wanted to be was be El Chapo, El Chapo, El Chapo. Let's go. Last name start with a J. I'm so cold in this cold world. I seen the best froze. When the money turned to violence, long range scopes. The empire with the power turned to gun smoke. I used to think that Hollywood was just a movie. till the Terminator executed Tookie. Television, man, I'm watching the news and it look like another body in the loo, and he up in his suit with his tie and his shoes and he laying like he in a Kennedy coup. But on the clip, them come from the zoo where the gorilla military do the coup. I assume that you knew they were coming for you because Scooby and Shaggy had gave me a clue. I know you saying this is the 97 flow. Youngins are looking saying Clef sound like Migos. Listen, amigos, that would be impossible. I've been doing this since New Jack had Nino, since Set It Off, Latifah had the cornrows, since Obama was a senator before the President. Now here's a riddle, kids. How famous is famous? Think about it for a second, too, again. How famous is famous? I'm so famous I helped make Beyonce famous. Now that's famous. I'm talking Destiny Child. I'm so famous Michael Jackson had me on that speed dial. That's famous. I'm so famous, man. That's Jimmy Iovine. And before the Black Eyed Peas, I was the Black Eyed Peas, man. I'm so famous, the #1 song on Thugger's mixtape is called Wyclef Jean. Now that's what rappers do when they rap and they boast. I don't do that. I just rap the freestyle from coast to coast. You see, I just stutter because I'm making this up from my mind. And like Jesus Christ, I turned water to wine. Back to Mr. Trump immigration. Let me deal with the immigration and flip the situation like Mira amiga, buenos días señorita. ¿Cómo está usted y su familia? Estoy bien en el micrófono. Espero que todos están bien como yo. Americans say how you doing. German people say wie geht's. When I go to Germany, they say wie steht's. If you love hip hop, let's have some Spaß. Tell me, baby girl, wie wären das? Yes, Wyclef, man, I stay in the zone. My people in Brooklyn, they told me to tell y'all shalom, man. As-salamu alaikum, malikum al-salam. My name is Wyclef. Shout out to the tribe that I saw last night, man, on SNL. My name is Wyclef, and I still rock well like Nas. It ain't hard to tell, I be the star. Freestyling with my guitar, like, I'ma do this one for my homie gone. Judge it now, but they ain't coming home. We all are from the danger zone. The devil pulled the card and he said choose one. I chose music, my homies chose, yeah. Oh, some of my ballers chose the NBA. Cause those on the block, man, they gangbang. Funeral parlors make you pull a chain, yeah. We gotta go back to the love, 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 yeah. Excuse me, my phone's ringing. Hello? Who's this? Shakira? Shakira, hey girl, I could see your body moving, and it's driving me crazy, and I didn't have the slightest idea until I saw you dancing, and when you walk up on the dance floor, nobody could not ignore the way you move your body, girl, and everything's so unexpected, the way you right and left it, so you could keep on shaking it. I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Bonita. Shakira said to me, she was like, hey Clef, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So keep on rocking to the sound of the soca conga. I go by the name of Wyclef. Hope y'all enjoy this, man. Billboard Live, we in the house. Yo, people are really behaving.
I know. They're not letting loose. One more time for Wyclef Jean, people. Freestyling up here. So for those watching, this is kind of a little mini reunion between Wyclef and I. So I am Adele, the hip-hop R&B editor of Billboard.com. And last June, we were in the Hamptons partying because we thought Carnival 3 was going to be coming out.
We definitely was partying in the Hamptons. And
light work.
Yeah, I mean, we was turned up.
We were very turned up.
The Hamptons is the closest we could get to the islands when we can't get to the islands. So we had like all kind of drinks, and it was a beautiful time. You know what I mean?
It was a party.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to see you sobered up.
Same. I could say the same to you as well. You know, still recuperating though.
Yes.
So now, when did you decide?
I still got your shoes, by the way.
See, putting me on blast right now on Facebook Live. So I was gonna say, when did you decide to change course and do this Jovert EP?
Well, because we had so much music, we got like over 40 to 45 songs, and coming back like after 6 or 7 years, what I did not want to do is make the mistake that I see a lot of my peers do, is they don't put in the groundwork, you know? The groundwork is very important when you're working towards a reinvention and a new generation. So it's sort of like my daughter is 11 years old. So until I see her singing one of my songs on Musically, then it's like I'm still not where I want to be to the sense of the audience that we want to start reaching. So once she starts rocking Wyclef on Musically, which she starts doing, now she's going back to research all of the Wyclef from the score on down. So what I wanted to do was start off with an EP, because this new generation has never heard the Carnival one. We have, so you have two crowds. You know, the crowd that has the Carnival and the score, that's always blowing me up on Twitter like, yo, man, yo, what's up, man? Yo, when Fuji's getting back together, we need another score. They all got kids and they be at work, right? So basically, no, this is true. So they kids, they're going to go by their kids' temperature. So it's so important that, you know, Quincy Jones always told me, like, universal music and is like the pulse of the child, you know, and that's how we do music, like Forever Young. So I feel with the EP Juve, it's going to give a great introduction to the new generation, who Wyclef is, from the Caribbean, that whole vibe. So with the first single being like I Swear, and it's me and Thugger, it automatically, you know, it brings me into Thugger's audience, and then it brings Thugger audience into my audience. And sort of like when I did like with Santana. So it just creates like a whole new fusion of discovery with information.
Before we get into your relationship with Young Thug, given your vast career, do you always feel like you need to school people on the fact that you've been in the game for so long?
Yeah, always. You can't take nothing for granted. Never take anything for granted. Always do your first interview like it's your last interview. So when I shake people's hands, right? So every country, like, there's at least one person that knows the name Wyclef Jean, and that's like pretty like insane. And every time I shake someone's hand, I'm like, yo, my name Wyclef. They're like, I know who you are. I said, no, but I can't take that for granted. I just want to tell you who I am. So I think that you constantly have to tell your story because it inspires. It's sort of like, I never met Bob Marley, or, you know, I got a chance to meet Bob Dylan, but I used to just watch these documentaries, and he was talking, and I just felt like he was talking to me. And sometimes he repeated the same thing over and over again. Then I got it. Every time he was saying something, it was to a new generation, but it was starting a new book out. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, I feel like from you doing that, now you got the young cats like Young Thug who are paying homage to you, like on his Jeffrey album. What was it like when you first heard the song Wyclef Jean?
I mean, once again, it's incredible. It's sort of like, you know, like J. Cole, you could tell the Nas influence, and they go get Nas, you know what I mean? I knew that I knew the kids would come for me. I didn't know which part of them would come. So Avicii was one of the first ones that came, and Avicii knew more Wyclef records than Wyclef. He was telling me stuff I couldn't remember. I was like, oh yeah, Avicii, yeah. So with Thugger, we get the call, and he's doing a mixtape, and he has a song called Wyclef Jean. Of course, he got to clear it, but it was a song he was obsessed with called Kanye. That he wanted me on, and he was just like, yo, he said, find Wyclef. He drove Leor crazy. Leor called Madeline. They got me on the phone, and I went down to Atlanta, and once again, it's just like the fusion of the session, and I would say one of the things I do remember, he was like, yo, Clef, you know, I sort of like just started doing trap music. I want to play you a lot of, you know, what's in my head and what I'm doing. And a lot of records I heard blew me away because they were like acoustic records with 808 drops on them, you know. So once again, I find that very, very amazing for me, to constantly be a school of the game, to want to learn logic, to constantly want to pick up what's the next Sonics, whether it's Apton, you know, to continue to build the library of sounds and to be able to work with just fresh new artists, the it artists. I think it's a very, very cool thing for hip hop.
As an artist who prides himself on his lyrics, do you worry about the generation that's, you know, doing what's so-called mumble rap?
Well, there was a conversation about that, about mumble rap, and I really want people to be careful because I'm going to tell you what's going on. What's going on is, I remember when we was coming up, and people was trying to describe what we were doing because it was so different, and it's almost like you had to be part of the generation and inside of the culture to know what's going on. So, for example, you know, you had like Shock G, Digital Underground, that was clearly coming with something else, you know. You had Tupac, you had Old Dirty Bastard. So if you want to talk about, you know, say on still on the niggerhood, so you know, like ODB had his own entire language. Snoop came with his own entire language. E40 came with his own entire language. What's going on? This generation moves on melody and beat before they get with lyrics. Now think about what I'm telling you is because the whole world moves like that. So in different countries that I go into, people like, ooh la la la, we used to be number 10, now we pounding one. They don't know what the hell I'm saying, but because of the tonation, they could feel the rhythm. I think that this generation is not the 90s. Like, they have their own melodies. I got people calling me from the 90s like, yo, Clef, can you teach me how to sing a hook? I'm like, okay, here's the first step. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Because this generation more moves on melodies, and it's more a ratchet generation.
This is true.
And being that it's a ratchet generation, it's actually a more honest generation. You feel me? So it's like I'm a player, right? So you come from the generation of the Iceberg Slims, you know, the Mac, you feel me? So you're going to see her and you're going to be like, and I'm telling you, looking in your eyes, baby, every day feel like Christmas. You such a gift, baby. You feel me? And they're going to look and be like, when we going to have sex? You know? Two different approaches to getting you to bed, but they use the more direct one. So at the end of the day, I always credit this generation to just a sense of bluntness and honesty, which, you know, I respect. Like certain things that I might be thinking, like, I'm not going to say it, but Thugger will just write out and say it, and I'll just sing along with it. Like, yeah. I ain't say that. Thugger said that, you know.
What made you tell him that you want to get him an acoustic guitar?
Well, Thugger showed me he's interested in playing instruments, you know. A few kids are interested in playing instruments, you know. Nick Cannon, you know, I gave Nick a guitar lesson. But I told them, look, man, y'all need that muscle memory. So Thugger was playing me a tape where he had an acoustic guitar, and he literally was, you know, strumming the chords, figuring it out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to send you a guitar, and then I'm going to put lessons and learn them, you know, because I just feel this is important that we do this, you see? So as OGs, you know, like Quincy Jones gave me information. With the information he gave me, it's important. Like if a kid's like, I want to learn how to play guitar, to add to his resume. Next thing you know, if he learns a 4-chord structure and he's singing, it changes his entire thing, you know? And I think elevation is very important. So I commend him for wanting to play guitar and wanting to try try to play different instruments. That's a cool thing.
Listen, if you need guitar lessons, just hit up Wyclef John. Apparently, he's teaching everybody.
Yeah, definitely. The Clef Zone. Not, I actually went to Berkeley for a little bit. Every time I'm supposed to finish college, something happens. So when I was in Berkeley, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get focused because I really wanted to be like a professor at one time of music. And
You still can do it.
I can.
Honorary degree.
But every time something going to happen, something crazy happens. So I left Berkeley to go try to be president of Haiti. So if you're going to leave Berkeley at the time, I think that was a good enough excuse to leave. But I was so passionate about like music theory and just the idea of teaching kids, because I feel like there's a cool way to teach kids. And I felt like my high school teachers taught it to me where I didn't feel like it was music. More I felt like it was a lifestyle, like a sense of belonging, which is cool.
From professor to president,
Professor Wyclef.
Speaking of presidency, last week the world was entertained with the news that Donald Trump became the president-elect. What was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
Well, I just think that, like I said in my song, like you want protest peacefully. Don't take it overboard yet, because it's not even there. There's a few realities that I want y'all to really, really, fully get to understand. Dig? The first thing is, if you want something to change, it cannot change without legislation. Like, it's not going to happen. So someone has to fight for the legislation to get passed, right? And then we all respect Martin Luther King. Like, everybody respect Martin Luther King. Everyone respect Gandhi. Everyone respects Mandela. There was even like a movie, right, Selma or something, that was in the Oscars, where they show you, and what I'm saying is not a black and white thing. It's a human thing first, because if you can't look as us as individuals, as human beings, that's the first problem. So now, check your history, my homie and my beautiful ladies. So what end up happening is, and excuse me, I'm giving you like slang talk and educated talk at the same time. I got to mix it for my people watching this, right? But what end up happening, all these people died. Like, you think the protests you're doing right now, I'm not taking nothing away from it. Y'all already know Uncle Clef respect it. But I'm telling you, you go back and Google. I'm talking about protests where people were getting dogs sicked on them. People were being hanged. All of this was to get to a level of democracy so that you can vote. So at the end of the day, if 11 million ballots have Harambe on it and we voting for a gorilla versus a person, then what end up happening is that 11 million could have made a difference. You feel me? And once again, I commend and I respect Bernie Sanders, right? And we all respect Bernie. If y'all see what Bernie's speech is right now, Bernie is saying, look, he's not changing his stance. He's basically like, look, at the end of the day, whatever you say, we're going to hold you accountable for what you said that you're going to do. And so I just want to encourage people that whenever you get angry or you get angered and you want things to change, whether if it's from the police, right? Because I got police in my family. Like, I got some gangster police in my family. Like, I got vice squad, narcs, all types. Then I have the other side of some people in my family that's locked up in prison, that's never coming out because they did bad things. So what I'm trying to explain to you is, when I say this thing about the police, I'm not targeting the police academy per se. I'm targeting a routine of that's been going where it almost seems natural. Because, with the human psyche, once you keep doing something over and over again, it just becomes natural. So the idea, if we don't speak on police brutality, then it's just going to be the natural norm. But if you actually wanted to change, we have to hold our senators, our governors, our mayors, whoever we're electing. So what I want the kids to do is, as you move forward and you continue, like, get together, come up with a petition, like each town, come up with something. Y'all don't like the immigration policy? Create a movement on Twitter where you say, okay, we need this amount of signatures on this. Okay, we don't like this. We're going to go march together. And I think you'll see that change. So I am not shocked at all by what happened, because Obama said, do not boo, vote, do not boo, but vote. And I followed the deepest thing for me with the whole electoral process is my daughter. She's 11. And I can't get her to get off of Musical.ly. When I tell you she was watching this election, like, all the way to the countdown and not wanting to go to sleep that night, she felt like she was about to have the first female president. Like, so she was like, so I came in the house. She was like, Dad, Hillary's losing. This is not good. My stomach's hurting. And she's 11 years old. So it was amazing at the same time. So the next day, basically, her mom was like, yo, your daughter, you better talk to her because she'll go to the school and start a revolution. So I went over. I was like, Angelina, she said, Mom already told me that. It's okay. But just I love the level of engagement of the youth, and I want to see that level, like Hillary was saying, don't give up, like, continue. And it's very, very important that we do continue. But I really want y'all to understand the power of legislation. It's so important, my homies.
Just taking action. Taking action is important.
Action.
Let's see. What about Obama? I know you said that Obama was all right with you in your book, despite him not inviting you to the White House, which is crazy in my mind. But, what were your thoughts on his tenure?
Yeah, that's just, I'll give Obama, that's my comedy side. But when I first met Obama, he still was a senator. And we met at a Black Caucus event. I don't know if you remember this. And he walked up to me and he was like, Michelle, tell Wyclef what's in my iPad, And she was like, the carnival. He won't stop playing the carnival, basically. So I was like, oh, that's my man. He going to be cool with me. I think, once again, Obama did a great job. For everyone who understands what's going on, there's always two sides. You have the right, you have the left, you can have the middle. But the idea of 100 days, President-elect Donald Trump will get things done. The idea of Paul Ryan, who does CrossFit, who I challenge to a CrossFit match whenever he's ready, who's basically grinning from right ear to left ear, like, okay, we're all good now, is because of the power of the House of Representatives. And in order for you to get things to happen, you have to have a majority. And I just feel like with Obama, not, every time he wanted things to get passed and he had ideas, I think, 80% or more of what he wanted to do, he felt the next administration would have continued that. That didn't happen. But once again, history will tell the tale. I think this is one of the greatest presidents we've ever had in our time, because you have to think of where the country was at. You only get 4 years to really try to figure it out and to continue. Like taking it from George Bush, what I'm saying? I'm cool with Bush. I don't have no problem with George Bush. He pardoned John Forte. We all good. So, but looking back to when he was picking up the country, and then Obama have to basically lift things up. I mean, that was a lot of heavy lifting. So I think we definitely should credit Obama. And we should credit Obama because Obama is so cool in the sense of, if you are the superpower or you that, you don't have to go around boasting about what you are. It's almost like if you create allies and you work with people, better this way you'll definitely get more done than to be in a position of conflict.
Mm-hmm. And then going back to the album that Obama really loved, The Carnival, which turns 20 next year. What do you think about when you hear that it's turning 2 decades old? Like, what is the first memory of creating that album that comes to your mind?
Well, I mean, it's so cool because like when I sit with like Chris Rock, you know, man, yo, this is my favorite album. A lot of people, because the Carnival was like, I mean, as you can see, like, as much as I'm like a musician, I'm like a comedian. You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
I saw the Funny or Die video.
You see me, like I love making people laugh. Like I love people having a good time. So I think looking at the Carnival, the idea was like to create something where the genesis of it is saying world music, but the new terminology, because hip hop is what we are as a culture. But I wanted to expand it and show people, yeah, we're hip hop as the culture, but then this is how deep the culture is. You know, like the Caribbean has to be credited to a certain portion of this culture. Looking at it like 2 decades is crazy because that album had 4 languages on it. Like when I was like singing Spanish music, bringing in Celia Cruz and wanted it on like American played radio, there was like nowhere in the hoots are we going to play this. Then the kids started singing it and then they started playing it. So for me, looking at work today, Rihanna's One Dance, looking at what Diplo is doing, Major Lazer, those sound systems, it's funny because we can go back to the Carnival and we will be like, holy crap. So the Carnival is, you know, even though I'm not that rapper where everything I do, I got to put a lyric about it. Yo, I just bought 2 buildings. Yo, I just made another 15 mil. Yo, I just got 4 new bitches. Because I'm not that kind of rapper, but let me just brag for 2 seconds. The Carnival is what you call like a blueprint to a lot of like what you're hearing today. It's one of probably 7 albums that's like a blueprint of that whole Caribbean Afrobeat fusion mix that we're hearing today.
Mm-hmm. So while we wait on Wyclef Jean's stand-up comedy shows, tell the people where they can get the Jovert EP.
Yeah. Could I tell them a joke, though?
Yes,
It's
please.
not a joke, though. It's a true story.
Is it funny?
I mean, you have to tell me, but I got to inspire the youth right now with a classic Fuji story. Do I have time? I'm cool.
Go for it. Always time for the Fuji story.
All right, check it out. All you kids that love the Fujis or don't love the Fujis yet, check this out. So a lot of people's like, yo, how Uncle Clef made it, right? So think about this. The Fujis probably 2 times diamond, right? Probably like 20 million. Then Santana, probably diamond. Hips Don't Lie, biggest selling charting single, right? So when you accumulate all the work together, it adds up to 100 million records. How does a freaking kid from Haiti think he can do this, right? So this is the secret, kids. You basically, anything that you put in your mind, you believe, then you have to go through with it, right? So I was born in a hut, a small little village. I ate dirt from the floor, real talk. When I tell my daughter I used to take a donkey to school, she like, Dad, you used to take no donkey to school. I'm like, yeah, the donkey, cluck, 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 every morning. I remember being in this, I can't even say a hood, because when I got to the hood, I felt like I was rich. I'm talking about a hut. I remember being in a hut, and on Saturdays, they would roll this donkey out. And when they rolled the donkey out, right, they rolled this donkey out, and basically, so I'm the chief of the village, you know what I mean? Like young Clef, I'm like 6 years old, you know, skinny, no clothes. I look like, you know, Ali Boumbaye, you know what I mean? And so I was so little, they had to pick me up and put me on this donkey. So when they put me on the donkey, now we're playing an imaginary tale of I'm going to America. So now the job is the donkey would take off, and we live by a cemetery, so the donkey would cross around the cemetery and come back. And so basically, like when I'm going, you know, on this donkey, and the kids are like waving, they're like, yo, Wyclef, you go to okay, see you come from America, you go to America, you come. I said, don't worry. I go to America. When I come back, I make the village better. So now in this village, right, this is so important. I'm just showing you the ideology of a kid, Joe. I ain't never seen no white person in my entire life in this village. Similar to like the Indians, when the Indians be like, the white man. So think of it like in this context. So one day in this village, I see a truck pull up, right? And similar to the Indian voice, the white man gets out of this truck, right? And then he brings mad rice. Dude got a lot of rice. And you know, we barely eat. So I see this dude, and I ask my grandma, I'm like, Grandma, you know, who is this? And she goes, that's Jesus Christ, right? So now, first time I see a white person, I'm like, yo, this Jesus Christ, right? So now, so Jesus laced the village, you feel me? Like we was having a good Sunday with Jesus, and then now Jesus leaves, right? So now when Jesus leaves, a year later now, this is so important that y'all peep the story. Because of the immigration laws that we had in America, my parents left me when I was 1. They was able to come to America and build a future and come back with the immigration policies at the time and bring me back to America. So my parents come to get me, and I'm 10 years old now. You feel me? So Clef is ready, and I get to the airport. I ain't never seen no airplane in my life. Now I'm boarding this airplane. It looks like a UFO because I ain't never seen nothing like this. So now I'm sitting with my brother. We are in shock and awe inside of this UFO. And the first thing that we see is more white people coming to me and my brother because we never saw no white people before. And they basically was like, sir, would you like something to drink? Sir, would you like something to eat? Now I'm completely in awe. So my little brother look at me, say, who's these people? I said, these Jesus Christ cousins. Right? Now, as funny as that may sound, right? The moral of the story is at the end of the day, right? What ends up happening is the ideology that somebody puts in your mind, you end up believing it. So it's important as we move forward into the future that we are really careful on how we treat our immigrants that are living in these United States of America. That's the moral of my story. You dig? Yeah, that's the story.
Thank you for story time, Wyclef.
Story time, baby. I'm going to be at Brooklyn Bowl tonight.
That's a turn.
Get ready, Brooklyn Bowl.
There you go. Boom. All right. Thank you for your time, Wyclef.
Thank you, baby. He Jesus' cousin. That's Jesus' cousin.